Precision Analytical's DUTCH test, also known as the 4-spot kit at Optimal Health Spectrums. This is a very comprehensive test to test your hormones to make sure everything is how it should be. It is a 2-day test, if you will. You could technically do it over the course of 1 day, but I will go over that in just a second. You will be doing this at least once per year if you are on bioidentical hormones here to make sure that everything is how it should be. Hormones fluctuate all the time, so we want to make sure that you are constantly on the right levels. So there are 2 tests at our office that we order. You will either do the complete, which will test your adrenals as well as your hormones, or you will be doing the sex hormone metabolites. This is the most common one. A lot of times we will have you test this annually if everything looks okay. If things are kind of all over the place with the results, this may be retested multiple times. So let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, when you open up your DUTCH Precision Analytical test, you will notice that there are a lot of directions already in there. So please take your time reading everything. There's frequently asked questions, so if you're questioning anything, it's probably on here. So read through carefully, prepare yourself for this test. If you are male or are not cycling, this can be done anytime. If you are a female who has a menstrual cycle, it has to be done specifically on days 19, 20, 21, or 22 of your cycle. That means that the day you start your period is day 1. Count up from that, and then you can start that on 19 or between 19 and 22. So if you are all prepared and ready to go after reading everything, make sure everything is in here. You should have 5 of these urine strips because even though we call it a 4-spot, there is an extra overnight one just in case. It is just a paper that you will urinate on. This paper here needs to be fully saturated. It doesn't have to be dripping wet. Make sure before you urinate on the strip that you have all of your information on the back. That way they know exactly when you collected it and whose it is. And we'll get to that in a second. There should be paperwork in there. This is the only form really that they include in here. You want to make sure that you have it all filled out completely, what hormones you're on. You could say in-house. Route of application, whether it's on the skin or mucosa, you need to let them know how much you're doing, etc. There is a backside to it, so you want to make sure that that's all filled out as well. You will pay for this test when you send it in. It is $150 for sex hormone metabolites. If you get the complete, which is the adrenals as well as the sex hormones, it's $225. You will include that information here or include a check when you mail it in. Speaking of mailing it in, once you have these all dried for at least 24 hours each, you will put every individual one in here as a group. Then you will put everything in this envelope. This does require 8 stamps. So you can either put 8 stamps on it or take it to the post office and have them deal with it. But it does cost that much. There's a little sleeve. You put everything in. To make it a little easier on you, since everybody has their own specific routine, if you will, Dr. Milky has had us type up this little timeline to give you guidance. I would definitely take notes and write on here to kind of guide you. So here's the timeline. You're going to take all your hormones regularly in the morning, whether it's testosterone, estrogen, DHEA, whatever it may be. You're going to take it exactly as you would any other day. We shouldn't have any changes here besides stopping the pregnenolone and DHEA, as well as whatever else it corresponds here, or everything that it tells you here. However, what you're going to do is the very first collection you will do will be right around dinner time. So I would definitely put alarms on your phone, plan it out, because before each collection, at least 2 hours before every collection, you need to stop consuming any and all fluids. They want to make sure that your urine is concentrated so they can pull the hormones from them. We don't want diluted urine. So if you know you're going to have dinner at 6, make sure that at least by 4 o'clock, you're not drinking anything at all. Once dinner time comes, you will do your first urine collection here. Saturate the paper, make sure your information's on the back, and then you're just going to let it dry for 24 hours. And then around bedtime, right when you're getting ready to lay down, you're going to do your second collection. So again, make sure that you haven't drinking a whole bunch of fluids right before this. You'll do the second collection right before bed. And then you will do your night hormones. So if you're taking progesterone, whatever it may be, you want to do it after the second collection. You will go to bed. If you just so happen to wake up, there is an extra one here for the first time that happens. You want to do the first time only. You don't want to keep doing it if you wake up multiple times, just when you wake up in the middle of the night the first time, if that even happens. If not, you just have an extra one. You don't need it. When you wake up the next day for the day, as soon as you wake up, you want to do your next collection, fill out the information, and exactly 2 hours after that, you will do the final collection. So between waking up and the next collection, don't drink anything, and then you'll be able to do the final collection. Once that's done, you could go right back to your normal routine, and you're done with the test. You just have to fill out all the paperwork here, make sure that it does correspond with everything that you did, and then you are pretty much set to go. All of these have to dry for at least 24 hours, so you want to make sure that if you do happen to do it over the weekend, that's fine. Just ship it out or mail it out on Monday. But if you're doing it during the week, make sure these are fully dry before you put them in the envelope or baggie here. Once they're dry, toss them in here. You can include not only their paperwork, you can include this if you have a bunch of notes on it as well as all of these in here. You should be able to fit all 5 of them in there, 4 or 5. So paperwork, actual urine, everything can just slide right into the envelope. It's pre-labeled, but again, you do have to do 8 stamps or take it to the post office. Then you just drop it off. It takes 5 to 10 business days for this to process, so give it time. I would say maybe 2 weeks after you send it out, you should have the results, or at least the office will, Dr. Milky or Sandy, whoever prescribed it for you, and then we can go over exactly what the results are at your appointment. This is something, again, that we will retest multiple times. Hormones do not stay the same, so we want to make sure that we're following and tracking that information ongoing and making sure not only do you feel good, but also your body is able to process everything naturally and everything's going well. So if you have questions, I highly recommend calling Precision Analytical. The staff there is amazing and they'll help you with any questions that you may have. I would say that they'll answer on maybe even the second ring, at least when I call. They're very, very helpful. The number for them is 503-687-2050. And that's written in here as well. Since this kit was since this kit was made by them, they are the #1 source in any questions you may have. They'll have all the answers for you. If you have a patch, if you're taking creams, if you're taking pills, whatever it may be, they're the ones that are going to be able to answer that. So I would definitely contact them. They will guide you through. Their website's very helpful and have a video as well. Actually, they have multiple videos on the website, so you can definitely refer to them. Don't be overwhelmed by this test. I know it's a lot of information in writing, but it's because we want to make sure that when we're tracking hormones, we have to be very, very specific. So definitely read through, prepare yourself, and then you can get started. A lot of times this will be due either in a month or 3 months, whatever it may be, and it will be constantly ordered, if not once per year, twice or more per year. So again, there's a number. If you need a kit and you watch this video and you're ready to go, give us a call. We can send you one or you can pick one up. Optimal Health Spectrums can be contacted at 925-846-8000, and then we'll be able to send you out or get you a kit prepared.